What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So during the upcoming Johto tour, which is February 26th, 9 AM to 9 PM local time, whether you have a ticket or you don't, we're going to be getting some exclusive legacy moves on Johto Pokemon. All these legacy moves we're going to be getting are from all of these Pokemon's past community days. Today we're going to go through all of them, which ones are the best to get and which ones are not worth your time. Let's hop into it, timestamps flow as always. So first of all, to get these legacy moves, what you're going to want to do is evolve the middle stage of the following Pokemon into their final stage, and they will learn the legacy moves upon evolution. You will be able to get Meganium with Frenzy Plant, Typhlosion with Blast Burn, Feraligator with Hydro Cannon, Tyranitar with Smackdown, Umbreon and Espeon with Last Resort, I believe. I'm going to correct myself in the pinned comments if it's their newer Community Day legacy moves, but I believe it's going to be Last Resort, Ampharos with Dragon Pulse, and Mamoswine with Ancient Power. A couple things to note, you cannot use regular charge champs to just TM your already existing Ampharos, for example, to learn Dragon Pulse. Only way to get it is through evolution. Also, if you have the Shadow version of any of these Pokemon, for example, a Shadow Quilava, and it knows the charge move Frustration, even if you go ahead and evolve that Pokemon, it will not learn that legacy charge move, since Frustration blocks the teaching of all legacy charge moves upon evolution. Note, you cannot double move a Quilava and it won't learn it in the second slot. That won't work. So unless you've removed Frustration from your Shadow Pokemon, you will not be able to get any of the legacy charge moves. However, note, for the Tyranitar, which is learning Smackdown, Smackdown is a fast move, so you can actually evolve Shadow Pupitar's into Shadow Tyranitars and still learn Smackdowns, because Frustration only blocks the teaching of charge moves. Finally, if you catch a Lugia in a raid during the day, whether you have a ticket or not, it will know Aeroblast, and Ho-Oh, if you catch it, will know Sacred Fire. So those will be two more legacy moves we'll be discussing in this video that you can get during this community day. Let's hop into it. What are the best ones to get, starting with Meganium. Now, Meganium with Frenzy Plant is going to be a must-have if you're running this Pokemon in PvP. Specifically in the Great League, it's going to be ranked 28 non-Shadow, 43 Shadow. If you have the Shadow, you might as well evolve it just to have the option, but definitely worth there. And as you can see, Frenzy Plant is a must-have. Also in the Ultra League, it's going to be ranked number 9 as the Shadow and 13 in the non-Shadow. So they're both very good. You can run either one, but in the Ultra League, you do need to XL, so you want it level 50. 0, 14, 15 is going to be the 100% IV for that Pokemon. Next up, we have Typhlosion. Now, Typhlosion has always been a decent pick in the Ultra League. We're going to see 119 in the non-Shadow and 131 in the Shadow. Although the rankings aren't great, don't worry, this Pokemon does do very well and destroys a lot of the meta, especially in the Premier Cup, for example. Also, if you have any of the Shadow Typhlosion, Shadow Typhlosion is one of the top fire type raid attackers in the game. As you can see here with a DPS of 18.752, the only thing outclassing it is Mega Charizard Y, Shadow Moltres, Shadow Charizard, Shadow Entei, Shadow Charizard X, and then there you go, number 5 or 6 slot, I believe. Very good fire type raid attacker. If you have any of those Shadows, be sure to get their Blast Burn move. Next up, we have Feraligator. Now, Feraligator is not going to be good for raids, but like the Typhlosion, it's going to be a good water type raid attacker. As you can see in terms of DPS, it's only going to be outclassed by the Shadow Swampert, Mega Blastoise, and then the number 3 slot Shadow Feraligator. So definitely a Pokemon worth getting if you have Shadow Croconaw, don't know Frustration, evolve them and run them as Shadow Feraligators for water type raid attackers. Now we have the Tyranitar. Now, Smackdown is a rock move, and it's the only fast rock move that Tyranitar can learn. So if you're going to be running Tyranitar as a rock type raid attacker, you're going to want to make sure you have Smackdown. Specifically, Shadow Tyranitar is going to be the one you want to go to. As you can see here, Shadow Tyranitar, Smackdown, Stone Edge is going to be ranked number 3 behind Rampardos and Mega Aerodactyl in terms of DPS for a rock type raid attacker. The non-Shadow form will be a little further down behind Pokemon like Rhyperior, Terrakion, Shadow Omastar, but it's still up there as a decent rock type raid attacker. So if you're going to be running Tyranitar or Shadow Tyranitar as a rock type, be sure to evolve them during the event so you can get these legacy moves. On top of that, the Mega Tyranitar, if you're going to be using as a rock type raid attacker, although it is still worse in DPS than the Shadow, if it ever comes to the game, make sure you have at least one Tyranitar with Smackdown so you can use it in the Mega form as a rock type raid attacker. Now we have Umbreon. Again, Umbreon, I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be getting Last Resort or Psychic on it, because EV did have 2 community days teaching Umbreon 2 different moves. My guess would be Last Resort, since we haven't had that one in a long time, but Umbreon with Last Resort is going to be a great pick for both the Great and the Ultra League. Snarl, Foul Play, Last Resort is going to be the preferred moveset, but again, you still can run the Psychic, which is a high energy debuff, and it's a good coverage move for Umbreon for those fighters. So if it does end up being Psychic, the move you learn, it is still one worth getting on Umbreon. And the Ultra League, it's going to be great as well, ranked 26, but again, this one you're going to need XL, so you're going to want this one as 100% IV Umbreon, level 50. You can actually best buddy to level 51, and it'll still be under the CP cap, so definitely a great pick there. Umbreon, Great League, and Ultra League. We then have Ampharos. Now, Ampharos itself with Dragon Pulse, not an amazing pick for pretty much anywhere, but if you don't know Mega Ampharos, when you Mega Evolve Ampharos, it becomes part Dragon type. So although you're never going to use Mega Ampharos as a Dragon type raid attacker, it is still nice to just have Dragon Pulse as one of your move options on your Mega Ampharos. So, you know, if you ever want to use a Dragon type move, I don't know, but I'm just saying if that's something you want to do. Now, out of the evolutionary Pokemon, The two that I wouldn't recommend really evolving would be Mamoswine and Espeon. Mamoswine learning Ancient Power doesn't really give Mamoswine any play. Its other movesets is way better, and Espeon learning Last Resort or Shadow Ball is the other move. Espeon is just a bad Pokemon all around, unfortunately. So those are two you can avoid evolving. Now, we do have Lugia in raids. If you have a ticket or you don't, when you catch it, it will know the legacy move Aeroblast. Is this move any good? As far as raid attacker, Lugia is just way too tanky, you could say. Down here, Extra Sensory Aeroblast, 14 DPS, not very good. That's going to be the one you're getting out of raid. And the other Ho-Oh Incinerate Sacred Fire, again, 14 DPS, not very good. Comparing to some of the top fire type raid attackers, you can see they're at like 19 DPS, 18, like way higher. So Ho and Lugia with their moves are not going to be amazing raid attackers unless you get the Apex Shadow versions, but that's just a different ball game there. Just know the ones you're catching straight up from raids, those ones don't use them as raid attackers. However, both Ho and Lugia do have a lot of play in the leagues. Lugia and the Shadow Lugia are going to be ranked number 2, number 5 in the Master League. That's with XL Candies. Without XL Candies, 3 and 15. As you can see, very, very strong. And same goes with the Ho-Oh, 4 and ranked 25 in the Classic, and the Open, you know, 6 and number 11. So all in all, these Pokemon are going to be super good for PvP in the Master League. In the Ultra League, you can even run these Pokemon. Ho is still ranked 60 in the Ultra League. Lugia is still ranked 38, so still possible to run them, but they're not going to be as good in those leagues. I would definitely prefer you to run them in the Master League. Just one thing I want to add on that I didn't mention, Lugia in the Master League, in any league, you're going to want that Aeroblast moveset. However, when running the Ho-Oh, you do have the option between running the new Sacred Fire, which is the move you'll be getting if you catch them in raids, or using an Elite TM and teaching it its other legacy move, Earthquake. Earthquake Brave Bird or Earthquake Sacred Fire are both decent movesets to run. It's really going to depend on your team coverage, but just make sure you grab yourself some Sacred Fire Hose in case that is the move you decide to run in the Master League, but both do work well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you're into PvP, both Ho and Lugia are going to be ones to grab. Okay, now before I end this video, I just want to give you guys one quick tip before the event so you can be ready. I'm going to recommend you guys go and you kind of tag all the Pokemon you're going to want to go ahead and evolve. For example, I have like this Totodile here. If I want to make sure I'm getting my move on it, I'm just going to go ahead and tag, make a new tag and call this like Evolve or like Evolve Legacy, whatever. Give it that tag. So then once the event does start, I can click tags, come over here, find my evolve, and then just evolve all these Pokemon so you're not kind of, you know, you're maximizing time during the event and you're not trying to fumble and figure out what Pokemon you evolve, and you have it already. Yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. So we have definitely some good moves to make sure you get during this event. Some moves are good, some moves are bad. Follow what I said and you should have no problem getting all the meta relevant Pokemon from their legacy moves. That's going to be it for the video, guys. I hope you guys are excited for the Johto tour. It's definitely going to be a fun event. I got more videos dropping about the event soon, so stay tuned for those. That's all for tips, everyone. Peace.